Welcome to the deep dive. We sift through the noise, stack up the insights, and really try to deliver the knowledge you need to be truly well-informed.
That's the goal.
So today we're diving into a question that honestly touches every workplace. Can the everyday voices of frontline workers, the people actually doing the work, can they fundamentally reshape an entire industry?
It's a big question.
Yeah, and we're focusing on truck drivers, how their input can literally transform everything, from the trucks themselves to, well, the whole company culture.
Right.
Have you ever felt like your feedback at work just kind of vanishes,
Yeah.
goes into a black hole?
I think most people have felt that at some point, yeah.
Well, get ready,
Uh-huh.
because we're exploring a very different reality today.
Yeah, what's really fascinating here, I think, is how one company didn't just hear the feedback. They didn't just nod along. They proactively took it and turned it into tangible, significant improvements. I mean, across many parts of the business.
Yeah. So this deep dive is really unpacking that then. How they move from just like appreciation to actual action.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Proving that employee voices aren't just, nice to have. They're the actual engine driving progress.
Okay, so where did this journey begin? You mentioned it wasn't some grand top-down plan.
No, surprisingly not. It actually started with something pretty simple, Driver Appreciation Week.
Right, which you might think is just, donuts and coffee, maybe a pat on the back.
Well, yeah, it could be just that. But here, it became much more.
How so?
They cleverly used it as a platform, a real opportunity to gather critical insights, straight from the people who know the job inside and out.
The drivers themselves.
The drivers. Because let's face it, driving isn't just sitting there steering, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
It's navigating tough roads, really tough sometimes, juggling schedules that are always changing.
Mastering all the technology involved now?
Exactly, the tech. And, crucially, trying to balance all that with, family life back home. That's huge.
So the company really leaned in, you're saying, to understand those daily realities, the good bits and the challenging bits.
They did. And when they listened, the messages coming back, well, they were incredibly clear.
Consistent.
Very consistent. Through town halls, surveys, anonymous ones too, which helps, and just, one-on-one chats.
And these weren't just vague grumbles.
Not at all. These were fundamental demands for improvements, things that would make their jobs safer, more efficient, more livable, really.
Okay, so what were the big themes? You mentioned priorities surfaced.
Yeah, about 5 key things kept coming up, loud and clear. First, give us better trucks and equipment. That was number 1.
Makes sense. Their main tool.
Right. Then we need more flexibility in our schedules. Life on the road is hard on families.
That balance issue again.
Definitely. Third, safety has to be a true priority. They stressed that not just a slogan, but real action.
Important. What else?
Critically, they said, listen and act when we report issues. They wanted accountability, follow through.
See things actually change when they flag a problem.
Exactly. And finally, maybe the deepest one. Treat us like partners, not just workers. Or, not just cogs in the machine.
Wow. That's a powerful set of demands. It's really about valuing them, right? Addressing the core needs.
Absolutely. Both operationally, the trucks, the safety, and personally, the schedules, the respect. It's the bedrock.
So, it's one thing to imagine your workspace being built around your suggestions.
Right.
It's quite another to actually see it happen, which these drivers did. Their voices led to, you said, serious fleet upgrades.
Oh, yeah. Major ones.
So when all this feedback came pouring in, what were some of the first, maybe most visible changes they made to the actual trucks?
That's a great question because, the fleet itself was the immediate canvas for change, you could say.
Right.
And the company didn't just tinker around the edges. They made substantial investments. Drivers had been really vocal about the wear and tear on older models.
Understandable.
So in response, they started rolling out brand new, fuel-efficient trucks.
Just newer models.
Well, newer, yes, but also better designed based on the feedback. Smoother rides, which matters over thousands of miles. Vastly improved climate control, think freezing winters, baking summers.
Crucial for comfort.
And significantly quieter cabins. That's huge for reducing driver fatigue, right? Less noise stress over, a 10-hour driving day.
Makes a big difference. What about the tech side? You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, that was another big focus. Drivers wanted tools that actually helped them, not hindered them.
Clunky tech can be frustrating.
Exactly. So the company brought in intuitive, easy-to-use electronic logging devices, ELDs, Smart GPS routing systems that actually understand truck routes, not sending you down a tiny residential street.
That happens. Oh, it happens. And streamlined communication apps.
Yeah.
The goal was really empowerment, not burden.
And what about inside the cab? For drivers who are basically living there.
Yes. The feedback there was super specific. And the company listened. We're talking
Yeah.
memory foam mattresses for better sleep.
Mini fridges, so drivers could store healthy food instead of relying solely on truck stops. Clever extra storage solutions because space is always tight.
Always need more storage.
And a simple thing but vital today. Plenty of USB charging ports for phones, tablets, everything.
So driver voices literally reshaped the inside of the trucks.
Quite literally. Turn them from just a workplace into more of a home on wheels. A comfortable, functional one.
That's an incredible shift. Just knowing your feedback led to a better mattress even.
It builds trust, right? Shows they're actually listening.
Definitely. But, okay, beyond the hardware, the trucks themselves, the company understood the human element was just as critical. Drivers were clear. Work-life balance isn't a perk. It's essential. Long hauls, okay, part of the job, but family matters.
It matters hugely.
So how did they tackle that? The scheduling logistics must be incredibly complex. How did they address that human side?
Yeah, that's where the listening really, really paid off. Because they had to fundamentally rethink their whole approach to scheduling.
Not easy in trucking.
Not at all. But they introduced more flexible routing options, specifically designed for drivers who needed more predictable or just more time at home.
Options, not just one rigid system.
Right. And it wasn't just a pilot program, it was a systemic change. In some regions, they even rolled out home time guarantees.
Guarantees? How did that work?
Giving drivers more certainty, basically, so they could plan, know they wouldn't miss, their kid's birthday or an important anniversary. Peace of mind.
That's huge for morale, I bet.
Absolutely. And they also developed and expanded more regional and local driving roles.
So not everyone has to do the cross-country run.
Exactly. They acknowledge that different drivers have different needs, different lifestyles, offering options that fit better.
So the underlying message was,
The commitment was clear. Getting the job done shouldn't mean sacrificing the moments that matter most in your personal life, respecting that whole person, not just the driver.
that respect factor again. And speaking of things that can't be compromised, drivers also hammered home that safety. Well, it couldn't just be a poster.
Right. Not just lip service.
It had to be a living, breathing priority every single day. How did the company respond to that critical demand?
Yeah.
Ensuring drivers felt genuinely safe out there.
That was another area where feedback led to really significant, tangible actions. They doubled down on preventative maintenance.
Proactive, not just reactive.
Precisely. Understanding that a well-maintained truck is fundamentally a safer truck. Rigorous schedules, immediate action on any reported issue, keeping vehicles in top shape.
Beyond just maintenance.
Oh, yeah. They rolled out advanced real-time driver alert systems, tech designed to help prevent accidents before they even happen, an extra layer of protection.
Like collision warnings, lane departure, that sort of thing?
That kind of tech, yeah. And they also invested in dash cams, but with a focus on privacy first.
That can be controversial, dash cams.
It can be, but the way they framed it and implemented it was crucial. It wasn't about surveillance. It was specifically to protect and support the driver, provide objective evidence if, God forbid, an incident happened.
So for exoneration, primarily.
Primarily, yes, and maybe most importantly, the company instituted a really clear guarantee. Any safety issue a driver reports, no matter how small it seems, it goes straight to the top of the priority list, every single time, no exceptions.
That's a strong commitment. Shows they trust the driver's judgment on safety.
Exactly. It shows they understand the risks drivers face constantly, and they're serious about mitigating them, moving from just fixing problems to actively preventing them.
So it really feels like this wasn't just about, new trucks and better schedules, as important as those are.
No, it went deeper.
The company seemed to undergo something much more profound. A real culture shift. Moving from maybe a traditional command and control style
Yeah, perhaps.
to one of genuine collaboration. How often do you feel like your voice truly gets a seat at the table where decisions are made?
It's rare in many places.
But for these drivers, it started to become a reality. Changing a whole company culture, though, that can't be easy. What were the hurdles? How did they manage to build that partnership?
Yeah, that really is the core of the whole transformation, I think. And you're right, it wasn't easy. The biggest hurdle, honestly, probably skepticism.
From the drivers.
Yeah, many drivers had felt unheard for years, right? So the company had to earn trust. Prove this wasn't just, the flavor of the month.
How'd they do that? Build that trust.
Through a few key things, consistently applied. First, they made it much, much easier for drivers to actually share their voice.
Lowering the barrier to feedback.
Exactly. They launched a driver feedback portal online, open 24/7, submit an idea or concern whenever, wherever.
Convenient.
Very. They also set up regular, monthly feedback meetings where senior management actually sat down and listened directly to drivers, face-to-face or virtual face-to-face. Real transparency.
Management hearing it unfiltered.
Yes. And a critical innovation was creating driver advisory boards.
What did those do?
These weren't just symbolic. They empowered experienced drivers to actively help shape company policies right from the start, not just reacting after something's decided.
Giving them real influence.
Real influence. And then internally, the cultural shift needed work too. Managers got specific training, focused on empathy, respect, understanding the driver's reality.
Seeing them as partners, like they asked.
Exactly. Learning to view drivers as critical partners, as experts in their field. And there was a deliberate push to promote more drivers into leadership roles.
Bringing that perspective into management.
Right. Ensuring the driver's viewpoint was represented at really every level. If you connect this to the bigger picture, it's a clear move away from just a transactional relationship.
Employer-employee.
Yeah. Towards a genuine partnership model, where drivers aren't just, the heart of the company doing the work, but they're also part of its brain-shaping strategy.
And they overcame the skepticism how? Just by sticking with it.
By consistently showing that feedback led to visible, tangible action again and again. That's what builds trust over time.
That makes sense. And these weren't just abstract policy changes. We're talking real stories, real impact from individual drivers. Right?
Oh, absolutely. Concrete examples.
Like you mentioned Marcus in Illinois. He wasn't just driving, he was observing.
That's right.
And he suggested a new procedure for delivery drop-offs that actually cut wait times by, 18%?
An incredible 18%, yeah. On his routes initially, then it likely spread. Think about the efficiency gains from that, multiplied across the fleet.
Huge ripple effect. Then there was Angela in Texas.
Angela, yes, sharp eye.
She spotted and reported a maintenance issue, a specific one, and that single report prevented potentially dozens of breakdowns across the whole fleet.
Exactly. Her observation saved probably thousands in repair costs, not to mention countless hours of lost time and frustrated customers.
And Tom in Georgia, he didn't just accept the status quo.
No, Tom was an advocate. He really championed the need for a better rewards program, something that genuinely recognized great performance, loyalty, safety records.
And because he pushed for it.
Thanks to his persistence and others chiming in, I'm sure, there's now a comprehensive system in place that does exactly that, acknowledges excellence.
So these drivers, they're not just moving freight from A to B.
Not at all.
They're acting as innovators, consultants, change makers, directly impacting the bottom line and, the work life of their colleagues.
That's the partnership model in action. And this commitment, this driver-led evolution, it isn't finished. They see it as just the beginning.
Right. It's ongoing.
The company gets that the road ahead, literally and figuratively, needs to keep being paved by the people who drive on it every day.
So after all these impressive changes, these success stories, what is next? What's on the horizon? And how will drivers keep shaping that future?
Well, the commitment is still there, front and center. Upcoming initiatives are all being explicitly guided by driver feedback, not just dreamed up in an office somewhere.
Still listening first.
Still listening first. For instance, they're looking seriously at sustainability upgrades, actively exploring, testing eco-friendly trucks, electric, maybe hydrogen.
And drivers are involved in testing?
Absolutely. Drivers are testing and evaluating them in real-world conditions. Their feedback is crucial for adoption. There's also a big focus on health and wellness programs.
Tailored for drivers.
Specifically tailored for the unique challenges of life on the road. Nutrition advice, exercise options, mental well-being support. The whole picture.
That's vital, but often overlooked.
It is. They're also investing in smarter AI-driven routing systems. The promise there is saving drivers significant time, fuel, making the job less stressful, more efficient.
Letting tech handle some complexity.
Yeah, taking some burden off. And naturally, bonus structures are being looked at again. Redesigned based on driver input to make sure they actually incentivize and reward what matters most to the drivers themselves.
So the core idea remains.
But the core philosophy is drivers won't just get these improvements handed down. They will help build them, test them, and drive them forward. co-creation.
Which really raises a broader question, doesn't it?
It does.
How can other industries, other companies, replicate this model of continuous improvement driven by the employees on the ground?
It's about establishing those transparent feedback loops, showing visible action, and fostering that genuine sense of co-creation, I think, at every level.
So when you boil it all down, what does this all mean for you, listening? Whether you're driving a truck or, sitting at a desk, the core message seems incredibly clear. Your voice is the engine.
That sums it up well.
It's powerful, but also kind of simple, isn't it? This process, you talk, the company really listens.
The listening is key.
Equipment gets better, your job gets easier, safety improves, and ultimately, everyone wins. It's just a compelling testament to actually valuing that frontline input.
Yeah, this deep dive really underscores how empowering your workforce can transform challenges, operational, cultural challenges, into huge opportunities. Opportunities for growth, for loyalty.
Loyalty is a big one.
Huge. It shows that by not just superficially listening, but deeply listening and then acting on that feedback with transparency, with commitment, you build genuine collaboration. You spark innovation.
And the key takeaway isn't really just about trucks, is it?
Not at all. It's about building systems where input is clearly linked to outcome, where people see their ideas making a difference, that fosters trust, engagement, everything.
So how can this model apply elsewhere?
You can reflect on how this deep listening, this acting on feedback, can work in almost any context, building stronger teams, more effective systems that really benefit everyone involved.
So here's something to think about then. What aspects of your own daily life, maybe your work, could be dramatically improved if your voice and the voices of the people around you were truly recognized? Recognized as the most powerful engine for change.
Where could you make a difference?
Yeah, where could you start talking, or maybe keep talking, but with a clear expectation of action this time? How could you help drive your own future forward?
A provocative thought to end on?
We hope this deep dive encourages you to amplify those voices, yours and others.